I would request our founder and CEO, Mr. Babu Mohanam, who is also a parenting coach, to honor our chief guest with the memento. I would now request our chief guest, Mrs. Gayatri Ram, to share her valuable thoughts with us.
Good morning, everyone. That was a nice introduction. Thank you so much. I'm truly honored and blessed to be here, to be present in the annual day function. As a healthcare coach and being in healthcare, I've had the privilege of working with pediatric kids and their families for the longest time of my life. I should say almost 22 years. I've been with kids. I've been dealing with kids in all sorts of time and life. I've been in the healthcare side and I've been in the dance side as well. So learning and mentoring kids has been my passion. Honestly told, it was not from the beginning, but it just grew into me as I started working with kids. That is where my calling was. What Hi5 International is doing here is actually remarkable because they are actually not just being an institution, but they are actually being a momentum towards conscious parenting. You know, science tells us that around 5 years of age, like the young kid who said here, Dwarkesh, right? He said that Aindal vilayadada aimbadil vilayma. That's a very true statement. What imbibes in you when you're at 5 is what makes you to be when you're at 50, right? You cannot learn, it doesn't mean that you cannot learn things when you're at 50. It comes to you more natural when you're at 5. In US, what they say is to talk many languages to kids when they are young because it gets to them sooner. They start to understand every single language. Initially, when I had my son and my daughter, we used to only talk in English. And I had to have a meeting with this wonderful counselor who told me, start talking in many languages that you know. They'll start understanding it and they'll start also reciprocating the same thing, which says what he said, they absorb like a sponge when they are young. So what they are doing towards conscious parenting at this young age is very remarkable. When we say about traditional parenting, right, it's nothing wrong or right about how parenting is. It's just few choices that we try to make, right? Traditional parenting, the few things that I saw which could be done different and which I have done different, and most of our friends and families and what we have mentored to have done different is answering the questions with a why behind. You know, when we ask our parents, why are we doing this? The blanket answer that we always get is, because my parents told so. You're supposed to do it. You're supposed to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and pray to God. Or, oh, God will punish you. Oh no, God is never going to punish you. If you believe in God, if you believe in a super system, they're going to bless you for anything that you do, right? So the best answer could be, I think it calms your mind to start a beautiful day with a positive energy, right? Giving them the right answer. Having crucial conversations with children as they grow is very important. I still remember, like, you know, I think many of you parents would have encountered this. How are children born, right? A very curious question for any young kid saying, how did this baby get into your tummy, mommy? I'm like, you know, how did you get pregnant? The blanket answer or the most common answer that we all give is God's gift, right? That's not God's gift. It's the love that the parents had to develop a beautiful family together. You don't have to explain the dynamics of it, but just giving them that love creates family is more important rather than telling God's gift. I'm like, you know, I'm not against God. Trust me, I'm a very religious person as well. But giving them the honest answers makes them to think and develop as they are very young and growing into it. In US, this is what we deal with children. I'm like, you know, I have dealt with children in pediatric endocrinology world. I've met with a lot of kids. They come to us when they are very young. They have to start counting calories. They cannot eat everything because, you know, they have diabetes. They have type 1. They cannot eat it. They are going to go into a shock, which is going to be life-threatening. So we have to teach them how to count calories from a young age. And instead of telling them this is going to be devastating if you don't do it, giving them the why behind, talking to them, not at them, right? Talking to them. Talk to them as equals. It is okay. I'm like, you know, when you see kids, our general body language is you go down to their heights, right? Because, you know, you're trying to go to their level and talk to them. And when you talk to them, they start thinking. They start listening to see what should be done, what can be the answers. There was this kid. I had a wonderful experience with this one child, which stays with me always. She was a patient with me when I was in endocrinology. She was always asking questions about why are we not doing this way? Why are we not doing this that way? Why is there no mention about continuous glucose monitors? I don't know if you all know it. The kids have a small batch kind of a thing in their arms which constantly pumps glucose to them, which if the glucose level goes up, it pumps it up. If it is high, it retracts it. So there is a continuous glucose monitoring that happens, but the school nurses, even in US, were not aware of it. So she came to me and she was like, how can we fix this? I'm like, you tell me. You're the one who's dealing with the problem. Tell me how we can do it. She asked me, can we set up an education session for the kids? And we did. We had our diabetes educators call all the nurses throughout the Dallas Metroplex area. They all came, different sessions. And when the educators started teaching them, they also started learning new things and understanding why kids behave certain way when their glucose is low, when their glucose is high. And she didn't stop there. She went to Washington, D.C. to lobby amongst the biggest politicians to make sure that this is a set standard of expectation in every school. And trust me, I did not drive her to do that. I was kind of like an initiator to say, what can we do more? You tell. You give me the answer to it. And she thought through that process. She was maybe around Shivani's age. I'm like 7th grade, 8th grade. That's how she was when she went to Washington to lobby. And now she's doing international business. That's what she's doing right now because she wants to go into politics, which I believe is creating a very strong politician for the country. So making kids think at an early age is very important. Having said that, like I do have a script, but I'm just glancing through it and talking, I should say. So I think we should install the problem-solving mindset as the kids grow up. Anytime when the kids come to you with a question or an answer, do not be, I don't know if you all have seen this toy. I'm like, we have it where you press the button and the candy comes out, right? Like you press the button, candy comes out every single time. That is parents, what we do in traditional parenting is if they come to you with a question, you're pressing a button, the candy is the solution that comes to you out, right? Don't be a pest dispenser. Ask them questions. Delegate them saying, give me the solution to it. Come to me always with the solution rather than asking me the question to it. It doesn't mean you shouldn't guide them, right? If they give us, not so favorable answer or if they give a not so favorable solution, trigger them with more questions saying, Ida pannalam, but where enna pannalam, right? What else can we do? What more can we do should be the way to get the answer that you also want, but also make them think, right? So it's just kind of like a more conversational relationship rather than a one side, I'm telling you, go do this. That, I don't think that goes well with this generation. So this is where I see, I also partnered with Hi5 International School is because they are trying to move kids in this early age into that direction. I saw what Babu was trying to do with parenting, being a parenting coach and teaching them about conscious parenting. This is amongst the same lines, which also made us to interest and made this partnership to grow more together. So the fact that you're all here already means and tells me that you're all in the right direction. Ask questions, ask always, and go towards it as a great momentum. And what you're doing is a very good job. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the opportunity. I think I took a little longer than what I was planned for, but thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your wonderful thoughts with us.